Okay, so I only have 40 minutes until I have to get home, take my nap, but I wanted to speak to you about being self-active. Now you have to be self-active. Why? Because you have been given a life and you can choose what to do with this life, or you can just let it happen. And if you just let it happen, it's probably, most definitely, I can guarantee you, it's not going to be the best one you can have. And if you only have one thing, you want it to be the best thing you can have, you know? If you only go to Disneyland one time in your entire life, like let's say you've been born in a poor family, on a poor place, and you only get the chance to go to Disney World one time, are you gonna not enjoy it? Are you gonna not be in the mood for it? No. If you have scarcity of something, then you value it deeply, greatly. So, you have been given only one life, and I would propose, no, I would say you have to live it to the fullest, okay? I, it's, I have to make you live it to the fullest because I'm responsible for that, because I have the realization that you have to. So let's talk about that for a second. Now, probably in life, most things, not most things, but some things would not go the way that you expect them to go, the way that would be ideal for you. And I would ask you, do you want to live the best life you can live? Most people would say yes, but it's actually untrue. They don't want to, they don't even wish to. They would prefer, does it go that way, they would prefer that, but they don't want it. Now, want involves thought. You have to think about it. If I want to become the best musician in the world, and so this is something I think about. I want to become financially free so that I can support my family, so that I can support everything I can support. So I want that deeply. I have a burning desire about it. If you don't have a burning desire, if you have no thought about it, if you never even considered it until I asked you, then you don't want it. Now that's okay. If you never think about it, that's okay, because you have been reactive up to this point. But you have to become self-active. Now listen to me, you have to become self-active. Why? Because when something happens, something that hurts you, something that makes you see in a different light, like let's say for example it's raining outside, as it is right now, you can be reactive to that event, and you can react in a couple of ways. Now you can react purely by saying, oh, the weather outside is not good, this is something that sucks. Okay, now this is one way to look at it. But you can also be self-active, and you can, if you want to live your best life, then you can ask yourself, well, how is that something good? How is that something that is better than something else? No, you don't have to compare, but how is that something good? How is that a wonderful thing? How is this day that it's raining a wonderful thing? And then I can come up with 1,000 explanations right now. First, I'm alive. Second, I get to enjoy it. Third, I have no problems with my health. I have no real problems with my finances. I can go and create. I can speak to you. I can speak, bro. I can go and find a new friend. I can go and do so many things, you know? So you can always be self-active. And the thing is about feeling, because had I gone to say, oh, this sucks, it rains right now, it sucks, this would make me feel something as a reaction of something else. So what would happen is, it's raining outside, so then it goes through my reaction, and then raining equals me being unhappy. But I can actually choose whatever the fuck I want, because I'm self-active. I can choose to be happy, I can choose to be grateful. I am very grateful right now. Actually, I'm smiling because it's wonderful to be here. And also, there's nobody outside. You know? So I can look at it and say, oh, there is rain. It sucks. Or I can look at it and say, it's raining and there's nobody outside. I rarely get to enjoy this quiet, peaceful time. And so it turns into something good. But why do I say this? It doesn't really matter if one day you go outside and then you're happy or sad because it's raining. It doesn't really matter. What matters is as below, so above. So when you take this and you magnify it to the proportion of something bigger, let's say a life event, let's say you have a friend that has been your friend for a long time, deep friendship, and then something happens, and you can, let's say, they snap at you, because this is a situation that I've been thinking of for a while now. There's been two people somewhat related to my life that are arguing, but they're deep friends. So the thing is, let's call one person the attacker and then the other person the attacker as well. Okay, let's go one person the let's say person 1 and person 2. So person 1 is suffering, and person 1 takes this suffering, bottles it up, and it turns into something terrible. It's not that person 1 is a terrible person, it is that this something turned person 1 to act in a terrible manner, and then person 1 attacked person 2. Person 2, in their own way, reacted to person 1, and then the situation just magnified and became worse, and now person 1 is not talking with person 2, they're not speaking. What could have happened had one of them been self-active? Had person 1 been self-active, all this suffering would not have really impacted person 1 so much, because person 1 could suffer, and then whenever there is free time, person 1 has a choice. Maybe person 1 doesn't know they have a choice, but person 1 always has a choice. They can choose to just continue with their life. Let's say they have 15 minutes during lunch break. Now person 1 can just react to the circumstances, and for 15 minutes think about how bad life is, think about how everything sucks, think about how everything is bad. Or person 1 can choose to go the other way and have 15 minutes that break the chain of suffering, break the chain of negativity, and person 1 can for 15 minutes be grateful, for 15 minutes be loving, for 15 minutes do something creative, do something that person 1 is passionate about, that they love. And in this way, person 1 would not suffer and bottle things so much. Now, of course, some people don't really know that they are bottling things and that they want to be bottling them on a subconscious level, but it happens. However, you can always choose to be self-active, and this is a choice, this is a conscious choice that you make. You can choose to be self-active, and then when person 1 snapped at person 2, person 2 reacted to the situation. Person 2 took it personally, and person 2 reacted to the situation, making it worse because they felt hurt, so their ego was involved. I'm not judging, but I'm just explaining the situation. Now person 2 could have, imagine you're person 2, your dear friend attacks you, snaps at you. Do you have to react and make the situation better, like why would you do this, blah blah blah? Or would you decide to be self-active and turn that whole negativity, turn that whole bad situation, suffering, everything, turn it around into something good, let's say gratitude or love? Hug your friend and be there for your friend, not there against your friend. I'm not judging, I'm saying this is how I would react, but I'm also saying this is how I think you should react. Because, again, as below, so above. Let's take this whole situation to your entire life, okay? Now, your entire life, you have been given it, and there is a lot of things that are gonna happen in your life. Immeasurable. There is a ton of stuff that's gonna happen in your life. All of it is gonna make you all of it is gonna try to make you react in some way. Let's say your car breaks down, you win the lottery, your mother says she loves you, your mother hugs you, your mother slaps you. There is a ton of stuff that you are not in control of that are gonna try to make you live in a certain way, feel in a certain way, think in a certain way. You always have the choice. Sometimes it's hard, I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying that you should always strive for that best. Because what does best life for you mean? For me, living my best life means to experience the best emotions and live through the best moments, to create for myself things I want to do and then do them, succeed, to help people, to not suffer, to make other people suffer less. And so how can this be done? Well, this can be done if I am the best version of myself. What does that mean? It means that I'm as strong as I can be, as grateful as I can be, as helpful and loving as I can be. And if something makes me react in a way that does not is not aligned with my best version, so something makes me angry, okay, now what can make you angry? Well, only if you let it. A lot of things can make you angry. Let's say that your teacher was being, you're in school and your teacher was being passive aggressive towards you. That can make you angry, right? Or somebody treated you unfairly. You can always get angry at stuff like this. You can also be self-active and then first be aware of the situation, be aware that the situation is trying to make you act in a certain way which is not aligned with your vision, and then you can choose to not feel in that certain way. There is a lot of stuff you can do. Now, some of my favorite stuff to do is to write. I love to write. I actually have my journal in my hands right now and my other voice journal in my other hand. So, I mean, that's a little funny, but I like to write, I like to get stuff out, and then I like to ask myself questions such as, how is this something good? Such as, what is something great about this? And I have become so related to these questions that I don't even need to ask them. They ask themselves in my head, and then I just come up with the answers and I say, yes, it happened, but let's say, yes, somebody treated me unfairly, unjustly, but that person probably, I'm justifying the situation, and then had I become angry, I would judge that person. Had I become angry, I would be saying this person acted in a wrong way, in a wrong matter. Now, I'm still thinking there is better ways, but I'm trying to understand that person first. And if that person is reacting as well to suffering, so somebody hurt that person, then that person is reacting with inflicting suffer upon me, then if I react in the same manner, I am inflicting suffering upon somebody else. So if I judge that person, I'm literally judging myself and being a hypocrite. Now, all of this stuff is very important because, again, it doesn't really matter if one day you're angry because your teacher was passive aggressive. I mean, you're gonna live a whole life, hopefully, like 100 years, no problem. Like one day, doesn't really matter. What matters is though, as below, so above. So you take that to a bigger, sorry, I lost the words for a second. You take that and apply it to something bigger. So this is an event that will cause you more suffering. Let's say your boss is passive aggressive every day you go to work, and you will, let's say, life causes you to go, and again, I'm saying life causes you, which is reactive. You can always choose, but let's, for the sake of it, say we're reactive right now. Life causes you to go to work for 5 years with that boss. Now that's 5 years of every work day feeling terrible, and then at the weekend taking it on something. This is a terrible way to live 5 years, wouldn't you agree? Now, this would be a very bad thing, because it won't just be 5 years not spent in the best way possible, but this would actually have a permanent impact on you that you will later, let's say you are hurt by your boss every weekday, and then at the weekends you try to take it off, and then you consume alcohol, you consume drugs, you watch the TV, in all of these ways you're sacrificing all the originality that you can have in yourself, because creation is closely related to being self-active. What do I mean? Being self-active is literally originating stuff within yourself. So saying, I want to become a musician, and then becoming a musician, or saying, I would love to know how to cook, and then doing that. All of these things, they come from within. I cannot make you want to cook. I mean, I can surely make cooking sound intriguing, but if you choose to, you can never want to learn how to cook. And I mean, you your conscious and subconscious self. But all of these things are internal. So being self-active is something internal, and creating, let's say I want to create an art project, so this is a creation, this is something internal. They are closely related. If I'm being reactive, then I'm shutting away my creativity, because then my boss tells me do this and do this, and I choose to act angry and frustrated to my boss, and then I do this and this, but I don't do what I want. And I am telling my mind, because my mind is telling me, well, you could do this, and I'm telling it, no, I'm gonna do what my boss says, blah, blah, blah. And then what happens is I'm sacrificing all my originality, all my creativity that my mind was telling me to do. And this way it has a permanent effect on you. If for 5 years I'm constantly telling myself, don't think of original ideas, let my boss decide, because I'm gonna act, again, I don't want to judge anybody. I have personally been reacting to a lot of too much stuff, and though one day I realized that, and I'm trying to be as self-active as I can for the whole time being. So what I am saying is that you should strive to become self-active, because then you can, okay, let's take this, and then let's say as below, so above. So let's take this situation, apply it to your whole life. Okay, now apply it to your whole life. This doesn't really look that unserious, because it was fine when it was just one day. It was fine to not feel okay for years, but for your whole life, wouldn't you like to love life? Wouldn't you like to enjoy life? Wouldn't you like to do what you want to do, and then be creative, and then be successful with following up your creative aspirations? I know I would. So take that and apply it to your life. Now you have to be self-active to live the best life, because if you're reactive, that means to live your best life, absolute best life, it has to mean that every single moment in your life has treated you in a good way. It means that nobody was ever bad to you. It means that nobody ever made you suffer. It means that nobody ever insulted you. That means to live your best life and be reactive. And this is unrealistic, because the world as it is right now, there is a lot of stuff like this going on, unfortunately. There is also a lot of stuff that is the reverse going on, which is a beautiful thing. So it's not all bad, it's not all good yet. it's not all good yet. If you're self-active, however, you can live from the point of choosing, from the point of decision, until the rest of your life. You can live your best life, and you can always try to act in a better way. So what are good and what are bad ways? We'll speak about that in the future. There is negativity, there is positivity, there is fear, there is faith, there is love, there is judgment, there is gratitude, there is non-gratitude. But why does one life matter? Like, why do I say you need to become self-active? Why am I so passionate about you? Well, it's because you are me. Literally, you are me. And you're not only me. What do I mean you are me? Remember when the person was reacting and then inflicting suffering upon me, and then I would do the same thing to the next person had I been reactive? You are me. You literally have gone through life, and then life you have connected, you have interacted with life, and then you become life and you interact with me, and then I become life and I interact with somebody else. This happens constantly at all times. And you are me, but not only are you me, because I care about my life, but I also care about other lives more than about my own life, because you are not only me, you are going to, and I mean you as in the collective human population, you are going to have a huge influence on my children. Now, I don't have children yet, but I want my children to live their absolute best life. I am passionate about my life being the best life, but about their life being the best life, take a step back, chill a little, okay? I will fight for my children having the best life possible. And I also love you. Why? Because I want you to live a good life. Because I want myself to live a good life. So why wouldn't I want you to live a good life, you know? If there is something good going on in your world, then I love that. And if I can help you become self-active and live the best life that you never even thought was possible, then I feel I'm responsible. Because had I been in that situation, if I was a couple years back and there was somebody who could influence me to become self-active earlier, I would love for that to have happened. Okay, now, why though does one life matter so much? Why does your life matter so much to me? I mean, I explained a few reasons, but there is a bigger reason, which is, and if you have been paying attention, you will already know, as below, so above. So I take your life and I apply this to a bigger thing, which is humanity. And I will just skip one step. It is the whole my generation, but I would skip one step and I would say as below so above to the whole human history that has ever existed. Now I look at it and I wonder, the Bible was written 2000 years ago, and if everybody is behaving just as they say in the Bible, if nobody is judging anybody, then I mean we wouldn't have a lot of the problems we have right now. And I'm not talking about 1 year, I'm not talking about 10 years, I'm not talking about a century, I'm talking about 2000 years. That's a lot of years to me. And then when I think about it as well, I look even back. There has been humans for a long time before the Bible was written. And so this makes me realize that because people have been reactive generation after generation after generation, somehow we still have the same problems that we have had forever. We still get frustrated, we still get sad, we still get hurt, even by the people we love. I mean, we get hurt by them the most if they hurt us, but they still hurt us, we still hurt them. So I'm thinking, like, why have we for thousands of years have had why did we have for thousands of years all these problems and we still have them right now? This is because generation after generation people were reactive. And if the whole population of Earth just becomes self-active, ever-loving, we could create the best world for the next generation to come and for us to also experience. Wouldn't you agree? And I'm saying, let's do this. Because I don't want the same problems that have been here for thousands of years to remain after I'm gone. Then what have I done? I want to help, and I know that you have no problem, at least, with creating the best Earth there is. And I know that you probably would probably agree with me that it's a good thing. And if you don't agree with me, then watch more of my videos because I think there is something you probably don't understand yet. So I want you to be self-active, and I want you to really to think, because of course I react to some stuff also, but I often ask myself, is this originating from me or is it originating from something else? If it's originating from a source outside of myself, then is it something good? Is it something I enjoy? Is it something that benefits me and my vision? Or is it disaligned with who I am and who I want to be? And if it is disaligned, then I just sit down, get my journal and think, how can I fix this? Because you can fix anything. Do you know what is the similarity between a sweeper of the streets and every great physician there has ever been on earth? You know the similarity? Do you know what is the similarity between a football player and a violin player. Do you know what's the similarity between a ship captain and a child playing in the backyard? The similarity is we all have one brain, a human brain. And what you do with that brain is you have a lot of room. I mean, it's not very fixed how you're gonna use your brain. You can use your brain in a good way, like a lot, or you can use your brain little. And it all matters what is your worth for yourself. If your worth for yourself is strong, then you will act in an amazing manner. And I'm gonna tell you, your worth for yourself should be extraordinarily high. It should not even be comparable with anything, because you can literally do anything. You can do anything you set your mind to. That's the thing, though. You have to set your mind to it. You cannot become a world championship if you have not set your mind to it, but if you set your mind to it, you can do anything. And I'm gonna prove that to you by becoming everything I want to be. Okay? So just keep following my progress, and you're gonna see that it is just like that. Be self-active. Trust yourself. Okay? Now, if I want to go to Greece, for example, am I gonna let somebody tell me I cannot go to Greece? No. If I depend on somebody to go to Greece, and they tell me no, then I can either keep asking, because asking you shall receive, or I can just, go to some other source of getting to Greece. What I'm saying is, Greece is a beautiful place. This is what I'm saying, but I'm also saying that nobody can tell you shit. You can always choose what you want, and you can always choose to dedicate yourself until achieving that something. And if you do dedicate yourself to achieving that something, you're going to achieve that something.